All right. Good evening, my friends. Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. We're going to do a longer guided meditation. So let's start right now. Please begin by joining me in the opening recitation. We will be using the triplet chant. Amajo Lama, constant and perfect protector, who is the centered spontaneous mind. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Ever changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. Remembering this, may my mind ever notice, relax, and flow. Now, tonight's practice takes about 40-45 minutes. This video will probably go longer with all my commentary. So just like the previous video, we're going to begin with the first noble truth of stress. If you have a mala, please begin counting it upon your right index finger. If you don't have a mala, no problem. Just touch your right index finger to its thumb. Begin by chanting the triplet chant. We do this 3 times. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. In breath, how relax into this. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. And this is to remind us that we are not alone in our momentary dissatisfaction. This is a platitude, but it is actual. Into each life, rain does fall. Unless you live in the middle of the Sahara. Then not so much with the rain, but you get the idea. Let's continue. That was chanting. Now we're going to recite the couplet conversationally. On the in-breath, we ask the rhetorical question, how relax into this? Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. Now, this is not performance art. You are benefited by practicing along with me. Even though the cat may be giving you looks as if to judge you. Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired, as well as enduring the disliked, is universal. This brings us to 19 repetitions of the whispered version. You have noticed that during the in-breath we are asking the rhetorical question, how relax into this? And this is whatever you notice, not what you should notice, not what you choose to notice, but whatever you spontaneously notice. Whether it's circumstantial or physical or emotional or intellectual, whether it's mnemonic or fantastic or calculatory, whatever it is you're noticing, that's what we choose. That's what we intend to relax into. When do we relax? As we whisper. Let's do this now. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. For instance, I don't like this camera angle. This camera angle makes me look sinister and evil like a movie villain from the 1940s. $1 million. Let's continue. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. It seems fantastic, but it's true. By performing this reading meditation in harmony with our in-breath and our out-breath, we will make progress upon Buddha's path to liberation. Let's continue. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. Neither getting nor keeping the desired as well as enduring the disliked is universal. And that, my friends, brings us to our first quarter mala, which is basically how we keep time in the Bronze Age. This brings us to the second noble truth of causation, where a fundamentalist would cite karma. We're just talking about interdependence. Ask a physicist, ask a chemist, ask a psychologist, ask a doctor. They'll all agree everything affects everything. Sometimes directly, other times surreptitiously. Sometimes immediately, other times eventually. Sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. But everything does affect everything else and is affected by everything else. Let us begin with the chant for 3 breaths. And by the way, while continuing to count your mala upon your right index finger, please touch your left index finger to its thumb. How relax into this. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Don't worry, you can chant as badly as me and still make progress upon the path. For the next 6 breaths, we're going to recite this in harmony with our breath conversationally. On the in-breath, we recite how relax into this. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. One of my students used to make fun of the way I'd say illusion. She thought it sounded most extraordinarily creepy. Now we're going to continue for the remainder of the quarter mala with a whisper. You'll notice the word relax is bold or written in a bold font because this is important. If this is the essence of mindfulness, then relax, according to some teachers, is the essence of insight. How relax into this? Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion.
Hi, we have another long day, 5 p.m.
Causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. So our job is not to memorize this. Practice this an hour every morning and an hour every evening, and memorization is inevitable. If mnemonics are not our goal, then what is? Reciting this question on the in-breath and relaxing during the out-breath to the best of our ability. That is our task. Be it causes, components, conditions, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Be it causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. What is the benefit of whispering? Well, it's easier on the voice, and it's also easier on consideration. Because if you find yourself on an airplane or in a bus or even in bed practicing while your partner sleeps, by whispering super silently, you won't be disturbing others. Let's continue. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. Via causes, conditions, components, or conceptions, independence is but an illusion. All right, we've completed our second quarter mala. We now proceed to the third noble truth, which is that of cessation. And as I mentioned in the previous video, this requires no faith. It's just consistently observable phenomena in the world around us, apply to the more intangible aspects of our experience, such as emotions. For instance, no matter how good you feel, that good feeling won't last forever. No matter how bad you feel, that too will not last forever. Let's begin with, by the way, if you're using a mala, please count your mala upon your left index finger. If you're not using a mala, then simply touch your left index finger to its thumb and give the digits of your right hand a rest. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. And for the next 6 breaths, we're going to recite the couplet conversationally. What's that? You ask, what's a couplet? It's simply a set of 2 lines. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. We're not saying there's nothing to grasp, just that there's nothing permanent to grasp. For instance, we can grasp our foot, but in 150 years, that foot we're grasping will most likely have to turn to dust. And the hand we're grasping it with most likely share a similar fate. Except for John. He's going to live forever. But the rest of us suckers, we're going to die. And now, for the remaining 19 beads of the quarter mala, we're going to whisper. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. And do your best to relax during the out-breath. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. As I film this video, I sit across from a dresser, and upon that dresser is a lovely statue of the Buddha of Compassion, before which is a tea lamp, or tea light, a little candle burning. What a wonderful study in impermanence, for that tea light will last no longer than 4.5 hours. And the last time I went through TSA, they broke a Buddha statue. So everything is impermanent eventually. Let's continue. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. We turn to the fourth page, or I should say the next page, where we deal with the fourth noble truth. Now, classically, this is looked at as the Eightfold Path, which is divided into 3 sections, which in Tibet would be described as view, meditation, and action. But from a pragmatic point of view, from the Lojong tradition, it's really about bringing everything we experience, painful or pleasurable, into the path. And join me right now in chanting 3 times. By the way, please count your mala upon your right middle finger. If you don't have a mala, simply touch your middle finger, your right middle finger, to its thumb. I'll relax into this. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. Excuse me. This Eightfold Path, often known as Buddha's Path, According to the great Tibetan saint who was lauded by the Dalai Lama, Dza Patru Rinpoche, the essence of the path is found in mindfulness. So let us take heart in the question, how relax into this? So for the next 6 breaths, we're going to recite this conversationally. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. We notice on the in-breath, we relax on the out-breath. We mentally recite on the in-breath, we converse on the out-breath. Do this as best you can, in harmony with your breathing. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. For the remainder of this quarter mala, we shall whisper this couplet. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. Now, your inner curmudgeon, your inner Oscar the Grouch could say, great freedoms. We have the freedom to suffer. Yes, we do. We also have the freedom to experience pleasure. But the greatest freedom of all is to notice our experience and to relax into it. Even to relax into our resistance towards our present moment experience. Let's continue. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. It is extremely important to make the most of these freedoms and opportunities we have received. Many people can become impassioned and quite insecure and ask, Well, how can I make the most of these freedoms and opportunities? I do not wish to squander this incredible opportunity that I have. If every morning for an hour and every evening for an hour, you practice these exercises, which are designed to set mindfulness upon our in-breath and relaxation of insight upon our out-breath. Do it for an hour every morning, an hour every evening. You will make progress on the path. If once a month or once a week, you're able to set aside a day, maybe on a holiday or maybe on a weekend, to practice 4 times in one day, that would be great. For instance, if you practiced at 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. and then 4 hours later at 2 p.m. and then 4 hours later at 6 p.m., if you do that once a month or once a week in addition to your twice daily practice, man, that's great. That's what some people would call a one-day retreat. That's very cool. Some people will do that for a month, or a week, or a month, a quarter, or a year. Some people will do that for 3 years. Some people will do that their entire life. But to get yourself started, an hour every morning, an hour every evening is a beautiful goal to have. Let's continue. Ever changing, when at all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. Ever changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. And now for something completely different. We're going to train ourselves in the 6-syllable mantra. This is arguably the most popular mantra in China and Tibet. There are all types of superstitious ways of looking at it. I find it much more empowering to look at it from a liberal perspective. Basically, with the syllable Om, we're invoking. What are we invoking? Well, in the next 2 syllables, we're invoking compassion. And the other 2 syllables, we're invoking wisdom. And the final syllable, we're saying, hey, may it be so. Now, the actual words of the mantra are could be argued as being meaningless. What's most important is if we use it in a way that helps us to notice and relax spontaneously. So that's how we're going to drill right now. We're going to begin with something I call syllabic ping pong. We're going to savor the syllables individually to grow more comfortable with them. So we're going to stick with the same in-breath contemplation, how to relax into this, and then on the out-breath, we're going to conversationally recite the syllable Om. It's conversationally, so it's easier to steer and adjust your pronunciation to match it, to make it in greater harmony with mine. Because quite frankly, that's my job. So the syllable Om rhymes with the word home. Some people raise their hand and say, oh, what about AUM? AUM is a Hindu tradition. Let's not practice that. There's nothing wrong with Hinduism, but it's not Buddhism. Let's not confuse ourselves needlessly. How relax into this? Om. Let's do this 9 times. Om. 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 And relax to the best of your ability on the out-breath. Om. 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 The second syllable is ma, which sounds like the word mama. And we're just going to use the first syllable, ma. Very, very simple. We pronounce the consonants like it's English and the vowels like it's Spanish. Pretty easy stuff. Ma. Now, let's see. It would be also very, very good if you could touch your left middle finger to its thumb. Ma. 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 For the third exercise on this page, we're going to play with the syllable ni, which sounds a lot like the joint between your thigh and your calf. Ni. 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 And yes, if you're a geek, you're probably having a flashback to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. We are the knights who say ni. But if you're very cool, like John, the thought never occurred to you. Have a relax into this. Ni. 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 So at this point, we counter mala if we have one upon our left middle finger. If you don't have mala, simply touch your left middle finger to its thumb and give the digits of your right hand a rest. On this next exercise, the top of page 16, how relaxing is this pod? Just like the first syllable of the Spanish word padre, which means father, or sometimes means priest, or refers to a baseball team in San Diego. How relaxing to this pod? Pod. Pod. These are exercises. Relax as best you can, and you will make progress. Pod. 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 The next syllable we're going to play with is spelt M-E, but it's pronounced just like the month of May. 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 may, may. Our third exercise on page 16, we play with the syllable HUM, whom. Just like the word whom, as in the phrase that a butler might answer when someone knocks upon the door. Whom shall I say is calling? Perhaps you've seen an episode or two of Downton Abbey, and you remember the butler in that. Perhaps you don't. How relax into this? Whom. 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 Take your time. Your body knows how slowly to breathe in and how slowly to breathe out. It's had some practice. Hmm. 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 And now we turn to the next page, page 17. Please count your mala upon your right ring finger. If you don't have a mala, simply touch your right ring finger to its thumb, while giving the digits of your left hand a rest. Now, we've already played with syllabic ping pong. Now we're going to play with syllable stacking. We're going to start off with one syllable, and then two syllables, and then three syllables. Eventually, by the time you're done today, you could feel very comfortable with all six. How relax into this? Om. 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 And as promised, greater challenge, we're going to play with two syllables now. How relax into this? Om, ma. And don't get fancy and try to use just one M. It's okay to use two M's. Make it two distinct syllables, at least for right now. Together. Om, ma. 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 Make it a game. See how relaxed you can get during every out breath. Om, ma. Om, ma. We proceed to the third exercise here on page 17. Three syllables all in a row. Om, mani. Mani literally means jewel. figuratively, it refers to conventional bodhicitta, or the conventional mindset that creates enlightenment, or in other words, love and compassion. Om Mani. 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 So let's turn to page 18. And while we persist in counting our mala, upon our right ring finger, let's also touch our left ring finger to its thumb. And now we come to 4 syllables. And by this point, you should be feeling substantially more mellow than you did at the beginning. How relax into this Om Mani Pod. Om Mani Pod. Now, some people pronounce it with a T, but it's with a D, like in dog. Om Mani Pod. This is conversational. It's super relaxed and easy. Om Mani Pod. 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 The second exercise on page 18. How relax into this Om Mani Padme. Padme is Sanskrit for lotus. And the lotus has been used for a very long time as a metaphor for the spiritual path. The lotus seed begins in the mud of a pond. The stem ascends through the murky waters. It pierces the surface of the water, and the lotus blooms in the fresh air. Likewise, our spiritual work begins in the mud. It begins in the shit. It begins in the crap. We work with it, and we evolve through it. If compassion and love, or conventional bodhicitta, or conventional mindset of enlightenment, then insight is the ultimate mindset of enlightenment. The insight we're working with in this tradition is spontaneous insight that comes from spontaneously noticing whatever occurs and training ourselves to spontaneously relax into whatever occurs. That gives birth to spontaneous compassion, which is much better than the contrived compassion that many New Agers embrace, wherein they just make excuses for the shortcomings of others. Well, it's okay that he shot my wife in the forehead. He had a bad day. That's not compassion. That's being a poop head. Compassion is about taking away people's sufferings and their causes of sufferings. Love is about meeting people's needs. Making excuses for inappropriate behavior has nothing to do with that. Let's jump right in. How relax into this? Om Mani Padme. 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 We scroll down to the third exercise on page 18. And we finally get to use all 6 syllables. How relax into this? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Let's turn to page 19. So now we're just going to grow in greater and greater comfort with the 6-syllable mantra. By this time next week, it's going to feel like you've been reciting it all your life. Now, I mean that in a good way, in that you'll feel much more comfortable with it than you do now. Please count your mala, if you have one, on your left ring finger. If you don't have a mala, simply touch your left ring finger to its thumb. Please give the digits of your right hand a rest. How relax into this Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And we're going to converse it, not whisper it. You notice to the right it reads X apostrophe S 28. That means we're going to do this for a quarter mala. I recommend using the Tibetan style mala that you can use. You can order from Amazon.com through the supplies page on my website. There's a link below the video on the YouTube page, there's a button that reads Show More. Click that and you'll find a bunch of links. I recommend smaller beads if you have a smaller finger and bigger beads if you've got big clunky fingers. Let's get right into it. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 I kid you not, this simple exercise of dinner for an hour every morning and an hour every evening can transform a neurotic buffoon into a fully enlightened Buddha. Please count your mala upon your right little finger. If you don't have a mala, simply touch your right little finger to its thumb. Please give the digits of your left hand a rest. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 When you feel something very strong, you can add something to the question. For instance, how relax into this anger? Or how relax into this mind that feels anger? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 But don't be surprised when the anger passes away, for all things are impermanent. And then just go back to the typical in-breath question, how relax into this? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 If you feel bored, you can ask, how relax into this boredom? And after a few breaths, you can ask, how relax into this mind that feels boredom? And then eventually the boredom will skedaddle off like a bored kitty cat. And you can return to how relax into this. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 While you persist in counting your mala upon your right little finger, please touch your left little finger to its thumb. These are some dramatic shadows I got going on, aren't they? I'm going to take a quick sip of some water. And now you'll notice that the word converse has been replaced with the word whisper. So we're going to whisper the six-syllable mantra now. Mani Padme. 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 If you have problems with pot versus pod, remember that pot, the T sound you make with the tip of your tongue, the D sound you make with the center of your tongue. That might help. The mantra will not turn you into a Buddha if you mindlessly recite it at Mach 10 with your hair on fire. It only will help enlighten you if you use it as a tool to bring spontaneous mindfulness and spontaneous insight into your in-breath and into your out-breath. By mindfulness and insight, I mean noticing and relaxing. We come to the last exercise of this meditation. Really make the most of this. Please count your mala upon your left little finger. If you don't have a mala, just touch your left little finger to its thumb. Give the digits of your right hand a rest. On the in-breath, we ask the rhetorical question, how relax into this? On the out-breath, we whisper, Om Mani Padme Hum. Remember, rhetorical question means we don't gotta answer it. In fact, it works better if we don't. We use our conscious mind to ask the question, and we allow our subconscious mind to answer it. How relax into this? Om Mani Padme Hum. One of my teachers was a toku, which means he was raised as a little boy inside a monastery, given special training as the reincarnation of a previous Lama. He slept in the same room as his teacher. Every night he would fall asleep to the sound of his teacher whispering Om Mani Padme Hum and hearing the clacking of his mala. Every morning the little boy who would become one of my teachers eventually woke up to the sight and the sound of his teacher whispering Om Mani Padme Hum and the clacking of his beads on his mala. How relax into this? Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. That concludes our meditation. We spent more than 45 minutes, probably close to an hour, doing something really positive with our minds and our bodies and our energy. Let's now direct that energy towards a beautiful goal, the well-being of all living beings, whether they walk or crawl or swim or fly, strangers, friends, or enemies of this world or other worlds. And so we're going to guide our intention with our words, with the words of the closing recitation. And we're going to use the bookend chant. That's why let's see, where's the cursor? That's why the first syllable and the second to the last syllable have accents on them. Let's chant this 4 times. May I accomplish great benefits spontaneously for each being. May I accomplish great benefits spontaneously for each being. May I accomplish great benefits spontaneously for each being. May I accomplish great benefits spontaneously for each being. Let's consider these words. Spontaneously. In the Tao Te Ching we read that contrived efforts do more harm than good. If our efforts are scattered in their spontaneity, they too will end in folly. But if our spontaneity is centered, great good can come from it. In fact, it's the only way that great good really can manifest. It's my wish that you are able to practice this every morning, every evening. If you have questions, don't be shy. Spell them out in lurid detail in the commentary below. I want to remind all who are listening to this video that the Saturday series of weekly webinars begins this week. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Now, what I'm going to do is stop the recording